Hey folks, welcome back to another video of the Flutter Development course brought to you by Newton School. For those of you who are wondering who I am, so my name is Harsh Kumar Khatri and I'll be your instructor for this course. I am currently working as an intern at Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, and I have been an ex-Flutter developer intern at AppScript, where my primary goal was to develop Flutter application based on the need totally from scratch. I am also an instructor on Udemy and Eduonix, where my Flutter development courses have more than 10,000 plus enrollments. Now you must be wondering what Newton School is. So basically Newton School is a platform which allows you to learn and develop the skills that you need for your best tech career. There are courses specifically designed for freshers, working professionals and for women with no prior experience in tech. Newton School first trains you for 6 months and helps you become a full stack developer. It also has a network of more than 300 great companies who hire directly from Newton School. So once your training is complete, Newton School also ensures that you are placed with one of the best companies in the country. They are also having a pay after placement program where you don't have to pay anything to Newton School until you get placed with a minimum CTC of 5 lakh rupees per annum. They also have one more amazing initiative which is known as Launchpad. In that Launchpad, you are provided with some of the courses for free of cost, and there is also an editor present on the website on which you can practice and work on those courses and get a certificate of completion as well. So make sure to check out Newton School and Launchpad through the link given in the description. So in this video, we are going to work on developing a basic calculator app. So let me show you the gist of what the app looks like. So you can see over here that we are going to develop the simple calculator app over here, which will be having a text for displaying the total count or the total operations, the text which you will be adding or multiplying or subtracting, and it will be displaying the numbers which you will be typing from the keypad which is available over here. You can also see that we are having a C for deleting everything, DEL for deleting a particular character, and the basic 4 operations which are available in mathematics. So we'll be developing this calculator totally from scratch. Apart from that, if you want to access the code for this related project, then you can find that on my GitHub. So that is Harshkumar Khatri / simple calculator app flutter. So you can go over there and get the code for this project. So let me switch my screen back to the editor and let's start working on the simple calculator app. So here you can see that I have switched my screen and I have opened the app which we have developed in the previous video, which is the background changer app. Now let's start with developing this particular app, the basic calculator app. So for that I'll be removing the code which I don't need at first. So this is the class which I don't need. In place of this, I'll be creating another stateful class with the name of calculator. And replacing this with calculator CLS. Now we need to import a package inside our dependencies in the pubspec.yaml file. So let me add that package as well. Under this Cupertino, we have to add the math expression package. So I'll go on Google and search for math underscore expression flutter. After that, going under its installation, copying it. After this Cupertino, pasting it. Clicking Ctrl S so that the package is fetched and the flutter pubget command is run in the background. Until this command is running, let's start with developing this particular class and creating some more variables for this class. So we'll be needing some variables, I guess 5 variables with the name of equation, result, expression, equation size and result size. So all of them will be of a type string. So let me create them. Equation. I have created 5 variables. Let me change the name. Will be of value 48 and the type of it will be double, and the above one as well, and the name of this one will be equation size. For the name of this one, it will be result size. Or let's first work on the UI part. So for the UI part, we'll be having a scaffold in place of this container, and inside this scaffold we'll be having our app bar. This app bar will be having a title which will be displaying simple calculator in the form of a text. After this app bar we'll be having our body. So the body will be having a column. This takes multiple children's. The C needs to be capital. The first children which we will be having inside this is a container with the alignment of center right. Next will be a padding. And it will be from left, right, top, bottom. So from LRTB, let me correct this. And passing the values of 10, 0, 10, 0 inside it. It is still showing me an error. So it was LTRB, I have used LRTB. Now after this it will be having a text which will be displaying the value of equation, the variable which we have created above, and it takes a style of style text style, and it is having a font size. So the font size will be equal to the equation size. This is another variable which we have created above. After this container we will be having another container. So this will be mostly similar to this one, so I am copying it and pasting it again. The things which we need to change is the text. So in place of equation it will be displaying the result over here, and the equation size will be replaced by the result size. Now creating another widget after this container which will be of a type expanded, and this will be having a child as a divider. Now after this expanded we will be having a row, and this row will be displaying multiple children's, but first it will be having a main axis alignment set to center. After this adding children's inside it, the first one being a container with the width of main axis like media query dot of context dot size dot width. And after this we'll be using the 3 by 4th size of this width, so multiplying it with 0.75. and after this width we'll be having multiple widgets inside a tab inside a table. So let's first add a child of type table, and this table will be having multiple children inside it, the first one being a table row. And this table row takes children's, like we need to create a widget through which we'll be creating the children. So we need to create this build row function or a build row widget which takes a character or a string, it takes a number, and it takes a color. So colors dot red accent. We need to create this function first, or this widget first. So let's start working on this. Let me create it over here. Yeah, so the return type of this will be widget only, and it will be build row build button, I guess. Let me see it once again. It needs to be build row as we have used it there. And this build row will be taking multiple things as I mentioned earlier. The first one will be of a type string, and the name of it will be button text, the text which we want to display. Second one will be a double. It will be the button size, the size for the button. And third one will be a color, which will be the color for the button. So button color. And next it will be returning a container, and this container will be having a height of media query dot of context. So media query dot of context dot size dot height, and we'll be multiplying this with 0.1 and with the button height which we have received. So button size, adding a semicolon over here, and after this height we'll be having another widget inside it, which will be of a type flat button. So if as the flat button is deprecated, let me use another container as a child of this, and this container will be having the color. So let me add the decoration. Inside that we can add the color. So box decoration color will be equal to the button color which we have received, and after this we can assign the shape. So let me add the border radius of circular value 18, so that it is in a circular shape with the value of 18 over here. After that we need to add a border, so adding a border dot all with the width of 1 and color of colors dot white 38. We can also add some styles to it, so the style will be of a type solid. So style border style dot solid, here it is. Next, adding a child to it, so inside this container adding a child as well. So this child will be of a type text, displaying the button text as we have passed above, and it will be having some styles as well. So the style will be of type text style, and this text style will be having font height as 30, and this text will be having the font size as 30 and font weight as bold. So font weight dot bold, and it will be having color as white. Next next thing which we need to do is we need to wrap this container inside a gesture detector, so that we can detect the tap on this container whenever it is made. So gesture detector, and inside the gesture detector we have this on tap property. So through this on tap property we can trigger a function for the button press. So let me first add this function over here, and then we'll be creating this function button pressed, and this button press text takes the button text which we have passed or which we have displayed inside the text. Now let's create this button press function. So after this widget, it won't be having any return type. You can pass the return type, but as we are not like returning any value out of it, so that's why I've kept it as blank only. And this takes a string of the name of the string will be button text only, and inside it we'll be setting the state first as so inside this we'll be setting the state as we'll be like changing the things or changing the values of the variables. Adding a semicolon, we don't need a semicolon after this. So inside this set state we can check if the button text which we have passed is equals to capital C. If this is the case, then we'll be setting the values of the variables which we have used above or which we have created above back to the ones the initial values which we have assigned. So the equation will be set to 0, The value of the result will also be set to 0. The value of equation size and the result size will be set to 38 and 48 again. So it is showing us an error over here, so I have by mistakenly used the wrong brackets. So this should be like this, and here it needs to have a semicolon. Yeah, now it is working fine. Now let's add another condition after this if statement. So adding another else if and checking if the button text which we have passed is equals to del. So if this is the case, we'll be setting the value of the equation to equation dot substring, and the first value for the substring will be 0 and the second value will be equation dot length -1, and inside this only we'll be checking another condition. So if the equation is null, then we'll be setting, or the value of the equation is an empty string, then we'll be setting the value of equation to 0. So if equation equals to empty string, then we'll be setting the value of equation to 0, and after this setting the value of equation size to 48 and result size to 38. Here it needs to be a, yeah. Now adding another condition, the else if condition, for checking if the button size is equal to sign. So button text, I guess I have said button size earlier, and checking if it is equals to this, and in this particular case we'll be setting the values again. So the value of equation size will be set to 38, and the value of result size will be set to 48. Next, setting the value of expression equals to equation, and the value of expression will be like replacing all the characters with the divide with the backslash sign. So let me first assign the value of expression to the value of equation, and next removing all or replacing all the signs present inside the expression. Equals to expression dot replace all from this divide sign. From this divide sign to it will be replacing it to this, and after this we'll be using a try and catch block for parsing through the value of this expression. So try, inside this we'll be having a parser with the value of p, and it will be having or initializing the parser here only. So parser and braces. After this we'll be having another expression. So the name of it will be exp, and it will be initialized to the value p dot parse, and we'll be passing the expression inside it which we have initialized the value to above. Next we'll be having a context model, and this context model will be named as cm, and it will be initializing the context model over here. And at last we'll be having a result. So we'll be assigning the value of whatever the result is to this result variable. It takes a string, so adding quotes and then adding a dollar sign inside it, as we are assigning the value to this results from variables. So it will be having exp dot evaluate, and this evaluate will be taking the evaluation type of real, and we'll be passing the cm, the context model which we have created. So evaluation type dot real, we need real values out of it, and it will be taking cm, the context model which we have created above. and for the catch block we'll be keeping it as empty only. At last, after the else if condition, we are having another else condition, and it will be setting the value of equation size back to 48. Equation size will be set back to 48. The value of result size will be set back to 38. 38 over here. The value of we'll be checking if the value of equation is 0, and in that case we'll be setting the value of equation to button text, else we'll be setting the value of equation to equation divided by button text. So let me check it over here. So if the value of equation is equals to 0, so in this case we'll be setting the value of equation to button text, else we'll be setting the value of equation to equation plus button text. Earlier I said equation divided by button text, but it is plus over here. So we have created this function as well. Now let's see why it is showing us an error. So table row must be expecting another things as well. So let's see. So we have made a mistake that table row takes the elements in a type of a children as the table is taking. So that's why it was showing us an error, when here it needs children rather than directly passing the value inside it. So that's why it was showing us an error. So here you can see that as I have pressed the save button, a C string or the C container is being displayed. Now as the C has been displayed, let's continue and make another things display as well. So inside this container only we will be using two more build rows, so pasting them over here, and these will be having the value of, the first one will be having the value of del, the color will be equals to color dot gray. Next, having another build row which will be having the value of this sign, so pasting this sign over here, and it will be having the color of orange accent. So you can see that the del and C have appeared over there. Now we need to copy this table row, as we'll be making multiple table rows inside this table. So copying it and pasting it over here 3 times. So this is the first table row. Let me close this over here. Now inside the second table row we have to add the values for each of these. So first one, this C will be replaced by 7, and it will be having color as colors dot brown. Let me hit Ctrl Z and get back to the first table row only. So let's create the table row from scratch rather than copying it directly, as we'll be using this table row which I am creating multiple times. So it will be a better option to do that rather than editing the values of that. So we are having a build row. This takes a button text, the first one being a 7. The button size will be equal to 1, and the button color will be equal to colors dot brown. Copying it and pasting it 2 times. The values it will be taking next is an 8, and the next one it is taking is an 5, 8, 9 I guess. So you can see over here that those values have appeared in the app as well. Now we can copy this table row and we can paste it 2 more times. So 7, 8, 9, 4, 5, 6, and this will be 1, 2, 3. Next we have to add another table row as well. This will be of similar type only, so pasting it again, and this will be having multiple characters. So the first one will be a dot character, the second one will be a single 0 character, and the third one will be a double 0 character. So you can see that the things have appeared, and here as I am typing the values are being displayed. and the values are being deleted or removed as well. Now let's add some more widgets after this container is ending. So once this container is ending over here, let me create another widget of a type container, and this will be having the width set to media query dot of context dot size dot width, and it will be taking the width of 0.25 as we have used 0.75 above, so we are using 0.25 over here. And this will be having a child, so we'll be having a child as table inside it as well. And this table is having children, so the children, the first one will be a table row only, and this table row takes children's, the first one being the button. It will be the build button only, so let me hit Ctrl Z and paste the ones which we have like created above. So here I have pasted the build row. I have to paste it inside this. So this build row will be taking a multiplication sign over here rather than this 7 character. The size will be 1 and the color will be brown. Now copying it again, let me copy the complete table row and pasting it 2 more times. The first one will be displaying a minus character with this size being 1 and color being brown. The third one will be displaying an addition character with the size being 1 and color being brown. And at last we'll be having another table row, pasting it again, and here we'll be having the size as 2, the string to be displayed as equals to, so here it is, and the color will be equal to color dot red. So here you can see that the things have changed or the things have occurred. So we are having this equals to sign as red, and this 3, 2, 1, all the values are appearing. Let me alter the value of the build row which we have taken. So we have added this center over here. So let me see where it is. We haven't added the alignment as center, so let me add the alignment as center and see if the strings, yeah, now it is looking much better as it was looking earlier. So now let's try and perform some of the operations inside this. So 52 plus 65, and you can see that it is working. And when you are trying to like use this delete, so it is deleting one character. When you are pressing this C, it is cleaning the complete screen for you. When you are using this double zeros, it is printing double zeros for you. When you the rest of the things are working as expected. So the minus, plus, multiplication and divide sign are working as expected. One more thing which you can do is you can add this scientific operations to this app, and you can create the app and can improve the app according to yourself. There's a Flutter package which you can use. You can find that on the pub.dev site, or you can directly Google scientific expressions for Flutter, and then you'll be getting a package and you can work on improving this basic calculator app which we have created totally from scratch. So I have just told you about the basic operations, but you can improve this app by adding some more expressions to it, so that you can add the app to your resume as well if you are like adding various different things inside the app. So yeah, this was it for this video, where I have explained you how you can create a basic simple calculator app with various different things like the colors and different widgets which we have implemented inside the creation of the app itself. So this was it for this video. If you have got to learn something new from this video, then make sure to drop a like, comment down what you have learned and what you want to see in the upcoming videos. Share this video with the people who want to learn Flutter, or in your communities where people are talking about Flutter. And make sure to subscribe to the channel to get updates about the latest videos being posted every alternate day related to the Flutter development course. Also, you can check about Newton School and Launchpad through the link given in the description. So they are doing amazing work, so make sure to check them out as well through the link given in the description. And that was it for this video, and thank you for watching.